Now, a major investigation by the National Orientation Agency has uncovered shocking unethical practices in the disbursement of the federal government student loan fund. The NOA claims that several higher institutions and banks have been colluding to shortchange students. Now, according to the agency, universities are withholding information about loan disbursements and failing to inform students of payments made in their name. In some cases, funds meant for students are deposited into the institution's accounts, but students are still required to pay tuition fees. With evidence mounting, the NOA has called for swift legal action against the guilty parties, sending a clear message for both institutions and banks involved in these deceptive practices. Now, to explore the implications of these findings, Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss the findings surrounding these unethical practices and the potential steps the government can take to ensure that students receive the loans they deserve without the intervention of corrupt practices. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Many thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here as usual.
Of course, now we already know you've made it clear in the past you're an advocate for free education, and now in this student loan case, we're still seeing elements of corruption. What's your take on this?
Well, these are enemies of free education. Let me start with that. And then, you see, I'm happy this fraud has been exposed. And it came about because of collaboration between two government agencies, NOA and NEL Student Loans Fund. I commend the two of them because it shows they are responsible institutions interested in service delivery, if you talk of marketing, or good supply chain network, if you are talking of manufacturing. It is a step in the right direction. Now, they are advocating that maybe legal action should be taken. Legal action in Nigeria is costly in terms of time, especially. So that may not be necessary here. What is necessary here is for EFCC to move in. EFCC is supposed to be in charge of economic and financial crime. These are both, you get me? Because the banks are involved together with the fraudsters. And then again, the universities, at least, let them be given a chance to make a reaction. Because this is not something that concerns the entire university community. It concerns the bursary department and the registrar's department. You get me? Because they say they have funds in their custody and they are not informing those who are to claim them. And they are even charging fees. It's a very fraudulent act. And two institutions have blown the whistle on them. Let EFCC move in. Let all the anti-fraud units in the police and everywhere, at least, ask them questions. Let's leave it at that for now.
Some would say that since it's an investigation, why don't they name and shame some of those people so that we do not have these things being swept under the rug right now? Because there are banks being mentioned, there are institutions being mentioned, there are departments within the institutions being mentioned. Everything seems vague.
Look, nobody has mentioned anybody. It's a revelation.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And after the revelation, you start the investigation. Get that right. Next question.
So, no, just to re-emphasize, the reason why I asked that question is that revelations are being made. And we've seen things like this in time past not properly being handled. And at the end of the day, it only stops at revelation. We hear investigations are going on. We never see the investigation never sees the light of the day, whereby proper prosecution is being meted out.
Don't be a pessimist. Please, give them the benefit of doubt. A revelation has been made. I'm interested in fair hearing. I'm not condemning the universities yet, but I said people should contact them. Or even if they are free, innocent people, they'll feel concerned and react in the next 2 or 3 days before the FC moves in. Because, you see, on the surface, it seems as if this fraud is on one side, but it could be on the other side. Do you get me? But let's applaud those who have made the revelation. Let's incite the necessary government institutions to make investigations and bring the culprits to book. That's justice. Please.
All right, Mr. Sobowale. Now, when it comes to accountability, what concrete measures should be implemented beyond the typical government promises of investigating the matter?
It's not the government promising. I am the one asking government. But you see, the thing is, you see, any society, you have fraudulent people. And, you know, the owner of this loan fund is government, which wants to attract students. Let's say it wants students to vote for it, so they give them loans. But some people are sabotaging that effort. Government is the most injured party. Do you get me? It is in the interest of government to make sure its loan policy for students work. Do you get? And luckily, the NOA is a government institution. The National Education Loan Fund, they are both government institutions. If the government cannot put its house in order to deliver on its program, that is the business of government. But I expect government to do that. Yes. Next question. Yeah.
Okay, now, of course, you just said government is the most injured party in this case.
Yes.
But I'd like for us to look at the students who were probably vulnerable in this case and what they are in desperate need of these loans that had to face the situation.
Yeah.
How would you like to see them probably compensated in this for this very huge inconvenience?
They should be made to enjoy, because they applied, the application should be brought to fruition. Okay. What is quite painful is that some students are being asked to pay fees when their name is already on the list. And the investigations will reveal that. And maybe some people will be prosecuted. If the individuals are prosecuted, to be a deterrence to other people. But you see, I have always liked to see the other side. In the United Kingdom, their own problem now is that some students get the funds and have no intention of paying anyway. And so they have discovered that that fraud gang involving some people from Romania. But luckily, that one is not here. Our own is that the banks and the administrative officers and financial officers in the universities have gotten money and are not disbursing. That is criminal. Let's EFCC, let the anti-fraud agencies in this country investigate that and bring them to book.
Also, Mr. Sobowale, now still back to this, let's look at the systemic failures aspect. Because like you said in your opening statement, these are enemies of free education.
Yes.
Right? So, but what systemic failures allowed these unethical practices to go on as long as they did before they got exposed?
It's not a systemic failure. You love that terminology. These are fraudulent individuals exploiting the system. The system is supposed to work like clockwork. Students apply for loans. They are processed. And the loans are sent through the banks to the universities. But the banks are not delivering. That's fraud. It's not the fault of the system. It's not systemic. It's human. See, the human error. It's like we are flying. Somebody once said the aircraft can fly itself or not to. It has accident when it gets to the human factor. This is the corrosive, corrupt part of the human factor going against the tension of government for the welfare of students. And that's why I said the sole injured party is the government. If some people are sabotaging its efforts and two of its institutions have pointed it out, let the law take its course.
I want to say thank you very much for joining us today.